of amounts. Now, these 3 points you need to know when you're finding percentages of amounts. To find out 50%, you halve the number, 10% you divide by 10, and 1%, which is where percentages comes from the French, percent out of 100, you divide by 100. So if we have a look at this question here, 52.5% of 70. Now, without a calculator, what we need to do here is we need to be able to find out a quick way of working this out. 52.5% can be split into 50% and 2.5%. Because if we add 2.5 to 50, we end up back with what we were wanting to find. Now, to find out the 50%, this one's nice and easy. 50%, you halve the number. So we do 70 divided by 2, which gives us 35. Now, straight away now, I know that 50% is equal to 35. Now, I still have to find out this 2.5%. Now, the easiest way of working out 2.5% is to try and use one of these 3 parts to help me. If I start with a 10%, I know if I halve 10%, I'll get to 5%, and if I halve 5%, I'll get to 2.5. So that's probably a good place to start. So 10% is going to be 70 divided by 10, which is 7. Now, to work out 5%, what I can do is to get from the 10 to the 5, I can divide by 2. So I'm just going to divide this 7 by 2. And we should know that half of 7 is going to be 3.5. Now again, to get to the 2.5%, what I can then do is I can then halve this 5%. So I'm going to divide the 5% by 2, and then I'm going to divide the 3.5 by 2 as well. So we're dividing on both sides. So 5% divided by 2 gives me 2.5%, which is what we were wanting. 3.5 divided by 2 is 1.75. So now I know that my 2.5% is going to be 1.75. Now, all the hard work is now done. To find out my 52.5%, I need to add these two percentages together. So I need to add the 35 and the 1.75, which gives me an overall answer of 36.75. And that is how we go about answering this type of question without a calculator. Now, if we were to use a calculator, we could use a little trick. So if I look at the same problem again, but with a calculator, what we can do is we can divide by 100 to work out the 1%, and then I multiply by the percentage required. So in this instance, once I get to 1%, I multiply by 52.5 to get to 52.5%. So all that I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my 70, I'm going to divide my 70 by 100, and that is going to give me 0.7, and that is equal to 1%. Now that I know what 1% is, I'm going to do my 1%, which is 0.7, and then I'm going to multiply it by the percentage required. So in this instance, I need to multiply that by 52.5. And if we do that on our calculator, believe it or not, very excitingly, we end up getting the same answer as we got when we did it in this method here above. You end up getting 36.75, and that's the answer.